I've been noticing a fascinating trend when it comes to relationships. And one of the fascinating trends that I've noticed is this rule that's been around for a long, long time, or at least a suggestion in the camp of leadership and personal growth that's been around for a long, long time, basically says you will become like the 5 people you hang around. Well, there's a lot of truth to that. But sometimes that truth is a positive and sometimes that truth is a negative, because you will become like the 5 people you hang around. The question is, are those 5 people going to make you a better people or a worse people? And that's a decision that the leader needs to be able to make for their own life, as well as to infer and to influence into the life of others. And that's what I want to talk about today on Leading Leaders. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. It's been said for a long time that you should be really cautious about the people who are in your circle of friends, especially those in your inner circle. The smaller that circle, the closer they are to you, the more intimately they know you and your business. And I don't just mean the business of exchanging money for services or money for goods. I mean your daily business. To use the street phrase, they all up in your business. They know everything there is to know about you. They know your friends. They know your family. They know your significant other. They know all the good stuff and all the bad stuff. And they know you. They know the way you think. They know the way you act. They know the way you plan. They know how you strategize. They know you well. Now the question is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? The other question, though, is could they use that against you? Could they use that intimate knowledge about the way you think, the things you believe, the things that you would say, might say, do say? Will they use those to destroy you or to take advantage of your business? Or will they use those to criticize you in front of others? Will they use those to weaken and undermine you? See, that 5 group of friends, they will influence you. I also remember hearing a story, trying to remember, I believe it was Jack Canfield who was involved in this, and he went to someone who he wanted to be his mentor. Now, this was Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen. These are the guys who wrote the book series, The Chicken Soup for the Soul. And when they wrote the first book, The Chicken Soup for the Soul, the first one was a moderate success. It sold, 80 million copies. Just think about that. If you're only getting $1 a piece in royalty, $1 a book, and then you have to split that with your business partner, still 50 cents on the dollar of 80 million books sold is $50 million. It's a modicum of success. But when he went to his mentor and said, I feel like I'm pushing the top of the limit of where I could be in my life, but I think I could do more. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. His mentor said to him, are you hanging out with people who are worth $1 billion? And he said, well, no, I'm not even worth 100 million yet. Why would I be hanging out with billionaires? And he said, no, the statement you just made is backwards. If you were hanging out with billionaires, you wouldn't still be worth less than 100 million, because you will become like the 5 people you hang out with. So let me ask you this question. Who are the people you hang out with? Are they pulling you up or are they pulling you down? Are they the kind of people who are causing the quality of your life to improve because they challenge you to think differently? They expect you to act differently. They have a higher level of expectations for you. They tell you when the thoughts and the words coming out of your mouth are way out of line? Or are you hanging out with people that when you're way out of line, they're laughing along with you? They know that you're inappropriate and they're totally cool with that. In fact, they encourage it. Now, see, here's one of the strange dichotomies that I see today, and that is people tend to migrate toward a significant other, a spouse, the person they're going to date, a business partner even, looking for someone who's very much like them. They want compatibility to be found in comfortability. So if they're comfortable, if you can hang out with them and just be cool all the time, and they never challenge you to be better, they never push you to the limits of improvement, well, that's an easy relationship, right? But That's an easy relationship, like walking into the locker room when you're a sophomore in high school and knowing that you can say and do just about anything as long as it includes the opposite sex and bodily functions. Then you can get away with it, and it's probably going to be hilarious. Well, when you're a sophomore in high school, that's kind of what's to be expected. The question is, when you move on with life a little bit, when you grow up a little bit, when you're not sophomoric in your thinking, do you still want a partner that expects you to be sophomoric? And maybe you've seen the movies like Dumb and Dumber, or even there was one called War Dogs. And while they were making a whole lot of money, and they were involved in international trade deals, not legal ones, but they still acted like they were sophomores in high school. Their language sounded like it. Their relational interactions sounded like it. The way they treated others sounded like it. The reaction that they had to people who had great wealth and great power still seemed like they were sophomores in high school. There was no maturity. Now, if you partner yourself up in business with someone like that, and the best they inspire out of you is the comedic behavior of a sophomore in high school, you, my friend, are not going very far. If you partner yourself up in a relationship with someone who only expects nothing better of you than sophomoric behavior, if they don't see you're striving to be better, to have a better education, to create more opportunity, to create jobs for others, to make an impact in your community and your society, if they don't not only expect that of you, but push you toward it, then they're probably going to be the ones who pull you back from it. See, the challenge with those 5 people that you hang around with is it's not just that you need them to constantly spur you on to be better. You need them to not be the ones who are dragging you down to be worse. And here's the strange dichotomy that I'm seeing today. And that is that we see people from the outside who are trying to get involved in relationships to create division by creating a false sense of incompatibility. I want you to let that settle in for a minute and ask yourself, how many times have I heard, whether it's through social media or through regular mainstream media, that XYZ kind of person doesn't think like me? They don't do the kinds of things that I do. They don't believe the kind of things that I believe. They don't invest what I invest in. And the purpose behind it is knowing that you have some common core values with this group of people, with this type of person. In fact, if you looked really close, some of your best friends in life think like that, believe like that, live like that. And you got no problem with them. But now there's this division that says, well, you can't hang out with them because of this one thing, this one idea that it's not the same. We see it a lot in politics, and we see a lot in churches. We see a division that's intentionally created, that's intentionally crafted, and sometimes it's crafted on a very small splinter of an idea. We see people who are driven apart over, can you be divorced and still serve in the ministry? We've seen people driven apart, and can you worship if you have a certain kind of background? Can you lead in politics if you've been married more than once, or you've ever served time? If you've been arrested or you have a felony conviction, should you still be able to vote? See, these are political ideas that have been discussed. Some of them are laws and some of them are not. But, many states still have sodomy laws when the homosexual community has spent a lot of time and effort saying, we're just like you. Why are there laws against our existence? And these are the kinds of conversations that mature adults have in their relationships. And they say, well, here's what I believe, and here's how I came to that conclusion, and tell me what you believe and how you came to that conclusion, and let's discuss the merits of both. On the other hand, you have some players from outside that relationship who will say, forget it, you can't even talk about that with them. You can't talk about the right way to handle, mask mandates or vaccinations or gay marriage or abortion rights. You can't even talk about those. Don't even discuss them. If they currently believe like that, then you have to believe like that. You have no meaning with each other. My friends, that is silliness. And a lot of people use the idea, the reality, that you'll become like the 5 people you hang out with. And here's their agenda. Their agenda is division. Their agenda is the more we can fragment any group of people, whether it's your family, your circle of friends, your co-workers. The more we can fragment you, the easier you will be to pick off. Why? Because there's safety in numbers. But the reality is there's a whole lot more people who believe along a line of core values, who are willing to accept and embrace differences of opinion, who will have hard discussions like grown-ups about really tough issues, and find the place where they can say, all right, we just can't agree on that, but it doesn't mean I don't like you. We can't agree on that, but it doesn't mean I don't love you. We can't agree on that, but it doesn't mean we're not going to work well together. It's the immaturity that says we don't agree on everything, therefore we have no compatibility at all. No, the difference between compatibility and incompatibility is grace. It's the ability to say, I respect you as a human being, even if I disagree with your ideas, and I'm totally cool with that. Leaders need to know, when is it time to move along because this conversation has no reasonable end? It has no place where we will say, I respect you as a human, and you respect me as a human. There's no way that we'll ever come to that agreement. If there's that much friction in the personas, not the issues, but the personas, that you can't fix it, then it might be time to move along. But let me also say, there's a time that every leader's got to be willing to stand their ground and go, you know what? I value you as a human being, even if I don't like everything you stand for. And I will stand for you, and I'll stand for your right as a human being to stand beside you and fight with you, not against you. I know that we can fight together to fix the problem, even if we don't agree on it. You're going to have to, as a leader, grow up to the place to say, who are my ride or die people who are going to stick with me no matter what? Who are going to say, I don't agree with you. I don't even like you. I don't like your haircut. I don't like your clothes. I don't like the shoes you wear. But you have a right to stand for what you believe, and I'm going to fight with you to make sure that you have the chance to believe that you have the right to. That's a different kind of society, my friends, than what we're seeing today, where the divisions are being cast at us from left and right, where people are telling us, well, if you disagree on this one thing, you've got to abandon them altogether. It is absolutely true. You will become like the 5 people you hang out with. That's just a fact. That osmosis of relationship, it's a powerful, powerful thing. My challenge to you is to find those people in your life who are going to make you a better person. Maybe that means you earn more money. Maybe that means you have better business relationships. Maybe it means you network with people outside your current realm of existence. Those 5 people will impact the quality of life. So will the 5 books that you read. Invest in those really well, but also know the difference between when you cannot reconcile your differences with a person and when someone else is just trying to throw friction into the mess because they want to divide you. Leaders got to know the difference. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.